Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the December 2015 edition of your favorite show on the internet, I hope, Keeping It Real, with your host, Dennis Aloia. That's me, live right here from Atlanta, Georgia. We've got a fantastic show scheduled tonight with three wonderful people, one of whom is homeless at this particular time, but I'll introduce him in the second half. Anyway, but to get to it, before I get into the heart and the meat of the show, I wanted to just make a special announcement. I'm glad to announce that a very great gentleman named Peter Hefty has decided to come on board with us sort of in a full-time mode as our Director of Marketing and Sales for the state of Florida. Now, some of you may know that Peter is a professional ventriloquist, and that is a true statement. He has appeared all over the country with his good friend and dummy, Justin. So, Peter, my advice to you going forward is, first of all, we're glad to have you. Second of all, listen to the dummy. He knows what he's talking about. We're going to take a short break here for a short commercial. I'm going to come right back with a dynamic couple in just a moment, so stay tuned. Don't go away.
Are you looking for a great night out? Are you in the Atlanta, Georgia area? Are you looking to check out some live, awesome music during the week? They have keynote, poker tournaments, horseshoes, and special events. It's all at the Moonshadow Tavern. That's at 3976 Lawrenceville Highway in Tucker, Georgia. That's the Moonshadow Tavern. Give them a call, 770-674-2133. Check out their selection of great food, friendly service. Visit their website at msttucker.com. That's www.msttucker.com. Moonshadow Tavern is a proud sponsor of the Chris Massey WEBTV music show on www.americanheartsradio.com. Make sure you told them that American Hearts Radio sent you. Visit their website, check out their great selection of food, appetizers, wings, burgers, sandwiches and wraps, steaks and chicken, salads and sides. Also their drink specials. Live music during the week. Check them out. Give them a call, 770-674-2133.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Thanks for rejoining us. I've got two guests here this evening for the first segment. They're a husband and wife couple. This is Mrs. Melanie and Reverend Donald. Tell me your last name, because I'll pronounce it badly.
Limbene.
That must be Italian.
Yes.
Okay. How did I guess that?
They say it in the Italian way, salu bene.
Salu bene.
Yeah.
Bene meaning good.
Good. Yeah.
What does salu mean?
Not sure.
Well, my name is Aloia, and I'm Italian. Okay. That's an Italian name. Sir. And you know how you remember that? If you're from New York, you're in trouble. What do you need? Aloia, right? There you go. Right.
Yes.
All right. Enough of my comedy. Let's get to what you guys are all about. I met this lovely lady. I do comedy magic professionally. Been doing it for many years, as most of you know out there. Melanie was an activity director at one of the one of the locations that I did recently, called the Benton House.
Yes.
And she was, I just loved her personality, and I thought you'd be a great addition to the show.
Thank you.
And then she told me that she was moving on to bigger and better things with her husband to get this new church off the ground that he was a minister for, and she is also a co-minister. So I wanted to kind of talk about your background, how you guys met, and where the church comes in, and where you are going forward. So you guys met in college, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Southeastern University.
Who had the better grades? He's lying, I can tell.
Truthfully. I got to be truthful. I'm a minister. So
yeah, I know. I just gave her a chance to, get one up on you there. So you met in college, and then did you continue like your relationship after college, and then you got married and just started your life together?
Yeah. Well, what happened is we dated for that year, pretty much all through that year, and then after college, I didn't have any place to go, so I went back to Detroit for about 8 months. And she went to Atlanta, and back then cell phones weren't, and we just
and phone calls were expensive.
Skype, no text, none of this. That they
so I decided after about 6 to 8 months, I'm gonna go be with her. So I loaded up what little bit I had and moved to Atlanta.
There you go, and the rest is history, right?
That's great.
A good history. Three children later, and well, how many years later?
32.
32. Yep. My God, you were child bride and child bridegroom over here. Well, that's a great story. Now, this is not your first church that you're being involved with now in Ackworth, Georgia. Have you had other churches together where you've been co-ministers?
We've been in the ministry since pretty much 87 full-time. Mm-hmm. And in that process, we started off in youth ministries years ago in Columbus, Georgia. And then from Columbus, we went out to pastor our first church up in North Georgia. And we stayed there for a while, and then we were invited to be a pastor at a church in Tifton, Georgia.
I know where that is.
Okay, with the agricultural.
Yeah, peanut capital of the South. Yeah.
But anyways, we stayed there.
Capital.
We pastored that church for 7 years.
Wow.
And that church was a pretty good sized church. It was a church that had daycare and a school, and we just had a good time. And by that time, all our kids were given to us. I mean, we by that time. Our youngest son, Ethan, was born in there.
Tifton.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. And then we left Tifton. Tifton was more of a traditional, good church, great church, good, stable group of people, quality ministry. But, we were wanting to kind of move into non-traditional, more out-of-the-box type mentality. So we took a pastorate here in Atlanta, in Lithonia, Covington area, which was Celebration Church, and we pastored that. And that's what basically brought us to Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
And then so we were there, and then from that point, it was we stayed there several years. And in the process, I was in the building business too. I was building houses and just doing a little bit of everything. But God blessed, and here we are today. Now we're in Acworth, Georgia, excited about Faith Family Church.
But you're building this one up from kind of nothing right now, right? Or you got about 100 people?
Yeah, we came to a group of people that were already there, and a facility and things. It needs a lot of work. I mean, all around. I mean, we're excited about the church. Great church, good group of people that are there. Couldn't do it without them. Honestly.
That's great.
Yeah, couldn't do it.
It sounds to me like you stay 6, 7, 8 years at a church, build it up. And then your ministry calls you on to somewhere else to take that planted seed and make it grow again.
Well, we hope this time this will be one of our final stops. So we really like to believe we could stay with this ministry until we're old. But we're excited about it.
Yeah. Well, we're in very challenging, changing times in this world. What's one of the big things that universally is being spoken about amongst the congregation? Is there anything like fear or... what is it? Do they have one major concern these days?
My observation is people are more concerned about the economy and their well-being than anything. Yeah. And I think that's typical worldwide. I mean, we're seeing everybody's economy is being challenged. And where do you invest? Of course, everybody's got their opinions. And, several years ago, I went in the building business. There was, good times up until about 2006, 2007, and from there it just fell all apart. Now it's starting to come back. But really, how long will it be? How long will this continue? So I think that causes fear in people's hearts because, we're
the
used
unknown,
to...
fear of the unknown.
Well, we're used to, here in the States, we're used to...
Abundance
and living a certain style of life that most of the world don't have the privilege to do.
Very true.
And so in turn, we probably are more concerned about that than anybody.
Yeah. So. Now, Melanie, specifically, what are you doing in the church environment? What's your ministry or your help with the ministry?
Well, now that I have joined him up here in Acworth, I am covering the children's department as well as the youth department at this time. We had some shift and some change when we first came, so I am working on putting together some teams that will pick up and carry the mantle, if you will, for children's church. I believe children and youth are not the church of the future, but the church of today. Okay. And so with that concept, if we're going to hold their families, if we're going to build a union group, you've got to minister to those children. You've got to minister to those youth, and that keeps the moms and dads. Yeah, right. Yeah. Now, you mentioned you've got a son. You got 3 children, but your son is a very good singer, right? Yes, yes. And it kind of interests me to have him as a guest here because... he would love it. Yeah. What kind of music does he sing? Well, he is in Southeastern University, which is a Bible college, and he wants to be a praise and worship pastor. That's where he's wanting to be. So his heart is worship. His heart is playing the piano. He's learning the guitar right now. He just naturally tends to sing some contemporary worship music that is remaking the hymns, if you will.
Okay.
Well, it's definitely not traditional by no means.
Now, are
It is-
either one of you musically inclined?
Yeah, we
Generally.
both sing and play. I play saxophone, clarinet, and a variety of other instruments of that. So that's my specialty. I love the woodwind section. It's just me.
Well, I tried to learn guitar one time and got a few strings on an old song called Honky Tonk and never got beyond that.
You got tripped up.
So,
huh?
I figured my fingers weren't, dexterous enough to do that, so I took up magic instead.
There you go.
So it's worked out for me okay,
Well, Ethan's into the urban dance and a variety of other things like that. He likes theater, but he is really a dance fanatic, so he's been trying to incorporate that in his music, and so we'll see how that goes.
Well, I got to tell you folks out there, Melanie asked me off camera, she said, do you ever do magic on the show? And I said, well, occasionally I do. I didn't bring anything tonight with me, but I do some mentalism, which is sort of like magic.
Okay.
Would you like to participate in a little experiment?
Now,
here?
I've participated with some of yours before.
Yes, you did.
Yes, I did.
Yes, you did.
So,
Hopefully this won't be a repeat of the one I did when you hired me, actually. So, do you ever play cards?
not very often.
Oh, good. You'll be easy.
Okay.
Picture in your mind a deck of cards.
Okay.
All right? In your mind's eye, you see the entire deck of cards. Folks, you with me? Now, this is a free will choice, okay? I want you to think of any one card of your own volition, your own free choice. Just think about that one card out of everything you see in your mind's eye. Tell me when you have that card in mind.
I have one.
You do. You haven't told him what it is. Good. Keep the card in your mind. Give me a moment to connect with you.
All right.
Are you ready? On the count of 1, 2. Got it. Now, for the first time, Melanie, tell everybody in our audience, name the card you're thinking of.
The Ace of Spades.
It's amazing. It's the same one I was thinking.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I knew where he was going.
I can sell you that trick. I've got an 800 number. What?
I knew where he was going.
I'll teach you that trick. I won't sell it to you. I'll teach it to you.
I think I already knew it.
All right. It's the only radio magic trick I ever did.
That's the kind of magic.
Did it work?
I can-
That's
Yeah,
the kind
it
you can
works every
handle.
time. You'd be surprised how many people pick the Ace of Spades. It's like 9 times out of 10. And I'll tell you another thing. Do you remember now this is kind of a private thing, but not really. I'll explain it to you. I get 2 people in the audience. I have a big brown envelope with a question mark on it. There's 2 predictions in the envelope. I ask one person in the audience to think of a number between 1 and 1,000. The person thinks of that number. I don't know if you remember this particular trick.
I don't think of it.
Then I have someone else think of somebody famous, okay? The person that is out there in the audience, I say, now you're thinking of a number between 1 and 1,000. Wouldn't it be amazing if the number I have in this envelope with the big question mark on it matches exactly your thought and that person's thought that's thinking of somebody famous? Yes, that would be amazing. Now, I'll pretend you're that person, okay? Is the number you're thinking of, give me a moment, 472? This is a yes or no question.
No.
No is correct, because I pulled the card out, it's got a big no on it, okay? Can't go wrong. Then I ask the other person, now, who are you thinking of, right? And they tell me the name of the famous person. Here's the point of the story. 9 times out of 10, they pick Elvis. And then I flip the card over, and there's a baby picture. And I say, I've got Elvis's first baby picture right here. So it's another perfect match. So Elvis and the Ace of Spades, folks, 9 times out of 10, if you do anything like that, they're going to pick those 2 things. Isn't that interesting?
Okay.
Enough about me.
That's good.
And
Nobody in our vast studio audience is applauding. I'm shocked and amazed. My God, we've got hundreds out there. Too many to count.
they're stunned.
They're
actually.
stunned. Yes, they're all in shock. Anyway, I am the poor man's John Stewart.
That's all right.
Yeah. So, do you have to do a lot of what am I looking? The church itself, the building itself, does it take a lot of like refurbishing, or
We're in that process right
you're in
now.
that process?
Yeah,
That's
so,
why you look
yeah.
tired tonight.
Yeah, I always look tired. No, we're in the process of rebuilding in every aspect, and what I mean by that is a lot of the infrastructure, as far as policy and procedures and all those different things, had to be redone, and then the facility is an older facility, so we're doing a lot of technical issues. We put in new sound equipment and things of that nature,
Right.
and we're adding to it. We're putting up a new digital sign out front. It'll be hopefully in the next, if the sign company does what they say, next 2 to 3 weeks we'll have that in.
Do you see it getting to the point where you can have like missions getting that big?
Oh yeah. We're already the church is already supporting missions in a big way. We support over 20 missionaries right now. We're doing outreach ministries continuously. We've got a food pantry and a clothing distribution center that we operate out of every day or every week. And things are happening really good. We've got a couple buses that we sent out. We're having an opportunity to bring kids in and families in through that. So just things are happening really faster than I can almost keep up with. And
well, that's a good
Lord
thing.
willing, we'll be at a place
It's a good
soon.
problem.
Yeah.
We're hoping to be at a place soon where we'll be able to bring in some staff to start doing things with us. So.
Well, time is just a-flying. I want to thank you very much for being our guest tonight. God bless you.
Thank
Merry
you.
Christmas, okay?
Thank you.
Yeah, Merry
And
Christmas.
don't go
Christmas
away.
to
We're
you.
going to take a short break, and then I'm going to have a homeless guy up here. We're going to take up a collection for a coat. Anyway, don't go away. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for a great night out? Are you in the Atlanta, Georgia area? Are you looking to check out some live, awesome music during the week? They have keynote, poker tournaments, horseshoes, and special events. It's all at the Moon Shadow Tavern. That's at 3976 Lawrenceville Highway in Tucker, Georgia. That's the Moon Shadow Tavern. Give them a call, 770-674-2133. Check out their selection of great food, friendly service. Visit their website at msttucker.com. That's www.msttucker.com. Moon Shadow Tavern is a proud sponsor of the Chris Massey WEBTV music show on www.americanheartsradio.com. Make sure you told them that American Hearts Radio sent you. Visit their website, check out their great selection of food, appetizers, wings, burgers, sandwiches and wraps, steaks and chicken, salads and sides. Also their drink specials. Live music during the week. Check them out. Give them a call, 770-674-2133.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. My guest tonight, he's not really a homeless guy. He's been around Atlanta for many, many years. He's a legend here in his own mind. His name is Jerry Farber, and he owns a comedy club and has owned one for many, many years. He's probably the unfunniest guy in Atlanta. But, Jerry, thank you very much
Good
for being
seeing you.
here.
Happy
and,
holiday. I loved
same.
your earlier segment.
Thank you very much.
That lovely couple.
Yeah, they were nice, weren't they?
They were lovely.
Yeah.
On a note about homeless, you know, I've been a board member of the homeless shelter. In
I didn't
Atlanta.
know that.
Task Force for the Homeless. We're the most unpopular shelter, and we have at any given night 400 to 500 people
No
sleeping.
kidding.
Oh yeah,
Really?
it's been there.
Wow.
It's the Task Force of the Homeless, Peachtree and Pine.
You never told me this before.
Because it's not. I don't want it to sound like
No, we're going to give you a plug. If people want to donate something, how can they do
What
this?
they need is people's attention first,
Right.
and if they have money, that's second. But we have 2 black churches that feed our people 2 meals a day. That's 500, 600 people. I encourage some people just to go look at them.
Very
They are
commendable.
humans. Sometimes they don't smell good, they don't act good, but they are, as church people say, they are the children of God. So one story in relation to it. When my kid, who you know, Joshua, sends his regards to you.
Right, thank
and
you.
to Al, producer.
Yes.
I have an old home in Midtown, and the air conditioner broke. And since he's 8 years old, I have an old house, doesn't have air conditioning. So one night he was whining and complaining. I took him to the shelter. He was 8 years old. He tells it better because he was complaining, Dad, it's hot in here. I said, well, at 11 o'clock at night, though, the fan, it'll be fine. So I said, I want to take you. I took him to the shelter his first time. 400 or 500 people every night. It's called Peachtree and Pine. And I said, I want you to shake hands with these people, and I want you to hug them and look at them in the eye. And he did. And when we got home, he was only 8, but he had a part beginning of his old soul, which is not to judge, and that how blessed we were. We had Piedmont Park a block away. We had ice cream. We had a refrigerator. We had a TV to watch a movie, and we had each other. Those people had nothing but something that Home Depot or someone furnished to sleep on the floor. Women and children, and 80 or 90 soldiers, mostly Vietnam guys. I love that story. And I love my kid because he really got it early.
Yeah, well,
how
that's a
blessed
great
he
life
was.
lesson.
Well, for me too, because and then I said, Josh, when you inherit your trust fund, then you buy Daddy air conditioning, because I do need the air conditioning.
Yeah.
No, that's a stupid joke. But the fact
It's
that
okay.
we still have no air conditioning.
Yeah.
And most people I know, you know, my grandparents raised 8 children each. They had no air conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
They raised 8 kids in Baltimore in those row homes.
Mm-hmm.
They all did pretty well without air conditioning.
Yeah.
So it's these simple things that the kids, I think, I see so many, and they're all lovely to look at, but so spoiled.
I have
spoiled.
I have a statement I've always told my kids and my grandkids, which is always, they always say, Grandpa, I always remember that, and that is, life is the greatest teacher. Isn't that true?
Well, I had a teacher that knew you. She was my 8th grade teacher, and I was
No
such a
kidding.
bad, she said, you're stupid and apathetic. Miss Hunter
was talking
her
about
name.
me?
Me.
Oh.
She said, you're stupid and apathetic, and I said, I don't know and I don't care. And I told her. And that's an
Bada
absolute,
boom.
that's a
There's a
totally
rim
true,
shot in there
that's
somewhere.
a totally true story.
Stupid and apathetic, I don't know and I don't care. Well, Jerry, you recently sold your club to a company called The Punchline here in Atlanta.
I merged, I brokered the deal.
You brokered the deal. Do you
between
miss the club?
Not at all.
Not at all?
No. Well, I wasn't there the last 2 years. I was on the road so I could make a living.
Well, the nights you were there, though, I saw all the vegetables
nights
being
of that.
thrown at you. I mean, how could you possibly miss that?
The show, I'll never forget, it was so slow. One night, the guy called, he said, what time's your show start? I said, what time would you get here? You know, it was slow. But it's been, you know, comedy is great, but I do explain sometimes when I go to parties, which is not as often as I used to. I don't look as good.
Yeah.
And they'll say, and I'm quiet, observing people.
Yeah.
Which is what comedy basically is, and
Right.
anyway, it's humans, is they'll say, are you not feeling good? I'll say, I'm fine. They say, but usually when I see you, I say, yeah, but you see me perform. And I explain, it would be like going to Michael Jordan and say, let me see you dunk a ball. Well,
Yeah.
in the real world of grown-ups, Michael Jordan does something for a living, but he doesn't do it at a party. He quite often talks, I know him, done golf tournaments for Michael Jordan, they have other things on their mind than basketball. Most comedians I know that make a living, the last thing they want to hear is another joke.
Right.
Because we tell them for a living,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I don't. You tell them better, but you know.
No, it's like when I was a cop in Chicago. My relatives would come up to me at weddings and say, I got a ticket, you know, and they'd start telling me about the experience.
No, exactly. Our doctor, I'll say, look
Yeah.
look what this is. He said, you got 6 months to live. so I didn't pay him. He's going to give me another 6 months to live. He's a liberal. He said,
Bada
give me
boom.
something every month and I'll keep you alive as long as you want. You got to pay me something. He's a liberal. He's another liberal like me.
Yeah. Speaking of liberals, I would put you in that category. Just a wild guess. All right?
What makes America have character is that we're the black, white, Jews, Gentiles, straight, gay. All of it is what gives America the character to me. My America, it truly is. My neighbors where I live, I picked Midtown because it was so diverse.
Yeah.
And I told Al, who I love. Al, by the way, is playing the life story of Oscar Robertson. The
That's
producer.
good.
We can't get Al on TV, but the producer looks just like Oscar Robertson.
Well, it's like I picked where I live. I'm surrounded by Confederate flags and, you know, double wides with 3 wheels.
I know, and I went out. I got trapped there one night out there where you live, and it felt the Civil War all over again. And I hit this woman, so I never hit a woman that hard in my life like that. That's a joke. I mean, nothing. I don't do that. I wouldn't do that.
Well, folks, on that happy note, I'm not going to close. I'm going to make a special announcement. Are you listening out there in TV land? That means you, Michael Aloia, and you, Bruce Shepard, and you down there, whatever your name is.
Give him my love, Mike.
Give him my love.
And Peter Hefty, who's
And
a
Peter
brilliant
Hefty, that's the
performer,
guy I
as
was
your
trying to
son
think
is.
of. I couldn't remember his dummy's name. Anyway, Jerry and I have had a conversation over dinner. He was kind enough to buy me a $3 dinner tonight. Had it been any more than that, I wouldn't have expected it. But Jerry, thanks for dinner. And over our conversation, we said, you know, he has a liberal bent. I have a conservative bent. And
Bent?
A little bit of a bent. And we said, wouldn't it be interesting if we kicked off our own television show? And we did like a segment, you know, where we're going to count point, counterpoint. Right. And we kicked around the idea, and I decided to debut that show next month in January, second Tuesday in this time slot. We've even got a working title.
Which is great. Congratulations.
Stirring the Pot.
I love that title.
You love that title?
I came up with the postscript, but we'll
we
see how
promised
goes.
that
Which
it
was
will
smoking
be
the pot because my
yeah,
friends in
smoking the
Midtown.
pot. Typical
But,
liberal,
if
not
I can
stirring
say
the
that.
pot. Okay, but we're gonna talk about serious subjects, and then we're always gonna hug and have a come by all moment after the show.
A great concept if we pull it off.
Yeah, if
or
we pull
try
it
it.
off.
Would
We
be
might wind
not
up hating each other. I don't know. It's all up to the audience.
No, for real. When you listen to some of the talk shows, I'm not
Yeah.
the only one that says it. Some of their own ones say it.
Right.
Our enemies would say, we don't have to try to get to 9/11 again.
They're
The
gonna kill each
Americans
other."
will kill each other. I don't want a show like that, but it would be great to be less myopic
Yeah.
and open up to all the what we think is the life force.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of Gandhi at Chapel Hill, where I went to Tar Heels.
Did you go to school with him?
I went to no.
Oh.
But I was an admirer. I did a thesis on Gandhi, and I guess you would, I know you're an earnest religious human. Gandhi's thing was not to bring people to his faith. He nurtured. He said, "Don't come to me. I follow me. You don't follow me. But I hope you find your own path." His best friends were a Catholic, an atheist, and a Jew, and a Buddhist. He was a Hindu. But to me, growing up in North Carolina and studying about this man, not many people talked about Gandhi then. I followed him. I thought that was an example for humans. Don't believe my dogma. I believe what I do, but I want you to find your own. That to me was about as loving and kind and nurturing as it could be.
Well, I'm loving,
wow.
kind, and nurturing.
No, you're not.
I just
You're
own
not.
4 guns.
You're not. You're a policeman, and you're the one that arrested me. Not many of you know. What you always know.
That's how we first met.
He arrested me for impersonating a comedian
That's
in
right.
Chicago. And he gave me 6 hours. I had to tell Milton Berle jokes for 6 hours. It was like a death penalty.
Oh, my God, you're telling stories out of school. Listen, even Al didn't know about this. Al is our wonderful and experienced, fantastic engineer who makes everything happen tonight. Al, I hope you won't quit with this announcement that we're going to have a liberal conservative kind of thing going on here.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to kick it off after the holidays so we can start the new year off on the right foot. I think it'll be fun, Jerry.
I think it'll be fun.
Yeah.
I'll bring the gloves.
Okay. All right.
No boxing and no blood.
No boxing, no blood.
But conversation. And wait, the hook is we'll each have a guest of our own.
Yeah.
Not to back us up, but to have their own opinions, and maybe we meet in the middle somewhere.
Okay.
Like the middle, they call it Middle America. which
Middle
is
America.
Maybe the last
bring a
great
little
hope.
cooking clock.
A cooking clock.
Yeah, a little cooking clock.
Oh, you mean like, that's a good idea.
You get 60 seconds and bang.
Bing.
No, that would be great.
Yeah.
And like yourself, you were a tough guy and a soldier. I love the soldiers.
No, I was a Navy guy.
Navy. I was a Navy SEAL. I was in the Navy. We played with SEALs.
Oh,
we tried to
that's what it
save
was.
SEAls.
Okay.
Well, I wasn't in the Navy. I took a cruise. I was on a Carnival cruise one time.
That's right.
So Navy, Carnival, same
Yeah.
thing.
Same.
Bad joke. To the soldiers, I mean nothing by that.
Folks, look up Jerry's website and find out where he's appearing, and don't go. Anyway, Jerry, thanks a lot for
Can
being
I make
here.
a plug for the New Year's Eve show with
Absolutely
your
not.
favorite comedian?
No, go ahead.
Jim Gosselin and I.
Oh, Jim, I love
Who's
Jim.
a
Man
national,
of a thousand voices.
locally based, nationally recognized comedian, Jim
Yeah.
Gossett, and I will be at the Cosmopolitan New Year's Eve in Atlanta on Delk Road, and we'd love to see you.
Isn't that that condemned building?
It is.
Yeah.
Right? You don't have to joke about everything.
Okay.
You really don't. Your magic is plenty good, and your and your reputation as a policeman is plenty good. I'll never forget. This is for real to
Yeah.
the audience. He did stop me. I used to work in Chicago with
Yeah.
the Vanguard, and he stopped me one night, and I was weaving, and I was wearing a Bob Marley T-shirt or Lenny Bruce shirt, and he said, "Sir, do you have any drugs in your car?" And I'm never forgetting. I said, "Like, what do you need?" I was just trying to be nice to him. I was trying to, he's a policeman. And he said, "What are you, a comedian?" I said, "Yeah, I just did 2 shows at the Village Vanguard." That was the true story. You remember that?
Yeah, I do, actually. Folks, that's a wrap. I can't improve upon that last little comment, but we'll see you next month with our new show, Stirring the Pot.
love it.
Second
Thanks.
Tuesday
Thank
next
you again.
month,
Thanks,
7:15,
Joshua.
right here.